side.
Nice.
We're good here. They're gonna queue up the height. Get ready for queue. Look. Years and years of grinding have led to this moment. Maybe not this exact moment. I kind of use this clip to make the intro more dramatic. After not qualifying for Challenger Circuit 2 times in a row, after failing at every other esport I tried, I'm tired of losing. Year 4 of the ALGS is coming soon, and I know there are many of you out there in my position. Many of you out there just like 15-year-old me, grinding the low tiers of competitive video games, just hoping to become a professional one day. Or maybe you just want to rank up. This video is going to be split into 2 parts. First one, I'm going to go over the basics of Apex Legends. Like, no, I'm not talking about how to aim and do movement. Rather, I'm going to go into strategic detail on how to win scrims in tournaments. And the second part is going to be a VOD review showing these skills in action. So without further ado, I bring to you Road to Champs. POI in Legend Comp. This is the beginning of every Apex game, where you're going to land and which characters you play. For this match, we land staging and we play a comp of Catalyst, Fuse, Horizon. No, we're not glazing TSM, we're just playing the characters that we are comfortable with playing. And that's my first tip when it comes to picking a Legend Comp, is finding a good balance between what you're comfortable with and what is currently in the meta. These legends are currently in the meta as of recording this video. Next is your POI. Generally, you want to avoid these POIs on World's Edge and these ones on Storm, as they're known for having either terrible loot or terrible rotates for those. But besides that, picking your POI is completely up to whatever your team feels like doing. However, in some cases, your POI and your Legend Comp have to go hand in hand. If you're playing from a POI towards the edge of the map or with a bad rotation, chances are you're going to have to be playing an edge style of play.
What did he say?
Which means you're going to have to take a lot of fights, which in turn means that picking a super defensive character like Watson is off the table. But if you're playing from center map or with a POI that has good rotates, then you're going to be more flexible with your character selection. The last thing I want to mention with POI is mapping out a loot path. This is something that you can generally completely rip from pro players. For example, when landing staging, this is how our loot path usually goes. You always want the character with the ability to hit the beacon to loot the side that the beacon's on. Early game rotate. This is the first rotate you do out of your POI based on the zone pool.
I'm 2-3. I think it's the LCQ ending.
So as you can see here, I recognize this zone as the LCQ ending. In the last game of the last chance qualifiers for the Year 3 championship, the zone ended right around here. This prediction was only further solidified when we hit the beacon and saw the second zone pulled here. There are 2 ways for us to play this situation. So either we play a spot on the edge of fragment, so we get priority into this side of the end zone, or we play the entire entrance to the landslide tunnel. We ended up going with the latter. With 2 of us positioned outside, we can see pretty much the entire end zone, and with our last holding the tunnel, there's no angles left unheld. Now you might be saying, well, Archer, what if they push that train tunnel? Isn't that Solo gonna die? That's why the Solo has to communicate as soon as he's being pushed so that we have enough time to rotate to him.
They might be looking for me. Try to group on me.
Coming.
Yep.
Cracked one on the left. I still have left side.
Dead.
Now what you're about to see is really important. Listen to what I say after the fight.
Nice.
So I'm going back to spot.
We
I'm
need
not
to
looting.
prioritize our spot.
Loot extra shields for me.
Instead of all 3 of us looting, I instantly start rotating back to the spot I was just holding right before this fight. This is because as the anchor, it's my job to make sure that no other teams sneak up on us and take our old spot as we were fighting in the tunnel. Mid-game fighting. Most of your fighting during mid-game is going to be done for the sole purpose of having an end-game position. So obviously we know that we're right here. There are probably at least 2 teams right here based on what we're about to see later in the game. There are probably 1 to 2 teams positioned around this side of the map, which leaves 5 teams. So there are 6 teams all in here. I'm guessing 1, 2, maybe 2 in this building, and then probably a team on Lower Bridge. This means that this entire half of the map is the core of the zone, and we're sitting somewhere in between, and this team is sitting somewhere in between. Now, the only god spots here are here and here. We're not going to know where the exact god spot is until the zone fully closes, but our only objective at this moment is to push in here, clean up these 2 teams fighting, push back into zone, and we have a chance at god spot. And if not, we're playing for a second.
Shoot it. Dead. Look back.
I'm watching behind.
Can you get loot melon or no?
With the 5th zone about to close, we have this entire half of the map to ourselves, and the important thing here is just letting the other teams fight. In a scenario like this, we have no reason to push up, no matter how much damage we deal to any team. We have god spot in this scenario due to how poorly the other teams are playing their positions. Now, in a top 3, the only thing you want to do is force the other 2 teams to fight. This is where Catalyst is so important in the meta right now. In almost every end zone, your wall needs to cut the zone in half so that you're alone on your side, and the other 2 teams are alone on theirs.
I'm gonna wall them off so they have to fight when the ring starts closing.
Okay, I have it out.
I walled them into each other.
Do it.
Now, I'd like to mention that this wall was extremely scary. If the player on the left was any better, he'd have been looking at me as I came over to do the wall. Now, I will mention that this VOD is almost a month old now, and lots of improvements have been made since then, but I want to point it out because making such a wide swing just to place a wall is super stupid. A better wall would have been straight from the rock I was playing, just to cut entire zone in half from our side. It would have given less space, but we would have been way safer. Now, with the solo on the left rock dead, all we have to do is brawl it out. Make sure that all three of us are positioned where we can refrag each other if we need, and just kill the other team.
One dead. Nice on me. Shit on really bad. Good job, boys.
What play? We can play here.
This guy in the RV is stuck. We gotta be able to get a free
Listen, right now, I don't care. All this team. I didn't mean to drop.
No.
All this team. I fell.
Going fruits. Watch it.
Already Horizon ulted the team inside. Fuck! I have knocked.